Hello students, hope everyone is fine. So dear children, in our previous video we had discussed about why do we fall ill, introductory part, health and its failure, okay, and many more aspects including the personal hygiene, okay. Personal health we had discussed. So under personal health we had discussed that we should maintain our personal hygiene, okay, including how to keep our body clean, okay, how we should wash our hands, how we should dump the waste, okay, taking care of each and every part of our body, okay. So now today we are going to discuss about the community health. So what is community health and how we can keep our community healthy? The efforts organized by the community for maintaining, protecting, and improving the health of people is called community health. Okay, so what are different things that we do? Okay, that is done by the community or the people living in a particular area. Okay, for keeping it neat and clean, okay, for maintaining it, for protecting it, and for improving its health, uh, uh, healthy environment, or we can say health of the people of that community. Okay, so that particular uh, property is called the community health. Okay, now it may be defined as all such activities that contribute to improvement of the personal health and well-being of community is called community health. So in community health we do some activities, okay, uh, those activities contribute in the improvement of the personal health and well-being of the community. Okay, so what are the various aspects that are involved? The provision for safe water supply. So community should receive the safe water supply. Okay, proper disposal of sewage and waste should be ensured. Okay, providing facilities for prevention by vaccination against TB, that is tuberculosis, tetanus, measles, diphtheria, polio, hepatitis, etc., and control of communicable disease by destroying insect breeding sites, and above all. Now, health education to the people so that they may be able to check health problems. Okay, next is foodborne and waterborne diseases are often epidemic, okay, and endanger the community health. So we should take care that there should be no vector available. Okay, vectors are the organism which carry the disease causing organisms. Okay, so this disease causing organisms should not be available in the community so that we can prevent the foodborne and waterborne diseases, and if they spread in particular area, that is called the epidemic. Okay, now management of different type of pollution by the state and central pollution control board should be there in community health. Okay, provision of family planning advices and services should be available. Provision for medical care to the school going children should also be available. Prevention of food adulteration, that means nowadays so many impurities are mixed in the food, okay, and that should be prevented. Okay, now next is establishment of health centers, hospitals, college, institutes, etc. That means in order to ensure the community health, one community should also have the health centers, and beside health center there should be colleges and institutes which provide education to the children and the youngsters. People living in a particular area are if habitual of dumping garbage in open, disposing sewage water and fecal matter in open. This lead to unhygienic surrounding. Okay, If the surrounding is unhygienic, then there will be spread of the diseases. How much ever an individual remain clean and maintain healthy domestic environment, may he may fall sick, because the flies, mosquitoes, microorganisms that breed at such places means the open disposing of the sewage and the garbage. Okay, these are the breeding sites for these organisms. Okay, so they fall sick because of these vectors or the disease causing organisms, because the flies, mosquitoes and microorganisms that breed at such places are carried by healthy environment. Okay, food, water and air. They also, it becomes our prime duty to not only keep ourselves clean but also our workplace, school, houses, surrounding and community clean. Now, keeping a good health and of oneself is not only individual contribution but also of community and other along with whom you live. Thus the person cannot remain healthy even if his home is clean but neighborhood is not clean. Hence it is necessary that neighborhood, surrounding etc should be clean. Failure of health is because of above mentioned reasons if not followed properly. Therefore, it becomes essential for a person to follow all the points that keep him or her healthy. Now, human health is adversely affected due to physiological malfunctioning of the body, organs, okay, then physiological reasons or pathogens. Now, this means against, and ease means comfort. The condition of the body without ease or comfort. This body is in discomfort or in difficult or disease state. Distinction between healthy and disease free. Okay, how we can distinct? In general term, healthy means to be able to work, play, study, sing, act, or any activity that one does. It is related to the normal activities. If the person feel unable to do, means he or she is unhealthy. Unhealthy person necessarily does not mean that he or she suffer from the disease. He may be disease free but unable to perform normally due to reasons. Say Sachin Tendulkar did not perform well in the World Cup. Does it mean he is diseased? So the health of a person can be poor without any cause of the disease. Now, disease and its causes. Okay, any disorder in the am- imbalance leading to the metabolic, physiological, anatomical, or morphological changes that can be clinically identified is a disease, or simply it is a disorder of the body. Now, here some terms are used. Imbalance means if there is no balance, okay, and absence of balance. Okay, uh, to the metabolic, that means in our body the breakdown of food take place and the formation of organic matters take place. These are together, okay, formation and breakdown together are called metabolic activities. Physiology, that means all the functions that take place inside our body along with the different organ systems. Okay, and anatomical is internal, okay, and morphological are the external changes, okay, that can be clinically identified is a disease, or simply it is disorder of the body. There are various factors or the sources that are responsible for causing diseases in the human. Now, the factor for sources that lead to disease can be categorized into two: extrinsic or external factors and the intrinsic or internal factors. So, human health, under human health, we are going to discuss about the acute diseases and the chronic diseases. Okay, so what is acute disease and what is chronic disease? So, acute diseases is the disease that occurs suddenly and lasts for short duration, okay, few days, and may be dangerous or are called acute diseases, such as sudden stomach pain, headache, cold, cough, conjunctivitis, diarrhea, dysentery, etc. A person regain health after a brief treatment. It does not have major effect on the general health of a person. Next we have is the chronic disease. The disease that occur for long duration, that is for many days, weeks or months or years, are called chronic diseases, such as tuberculosis, that is TB, of lungs, asthma, cancer, etc. The person may become weak, irritated, lose interest in work, life, etc. He or she may show loss of appetite, grow weaker day by day, and some cases the health of such person is very poor. A patient may or may not need hospitalization, but regular and prolonged treatment is always needed to regain health. Modern techniques like radiotherapy help in faster treatment, and for CT, that is the scanning, okay, CT scanning for the body organs, parts, early detection of a defect help in treatment of the disease. That means different tests are available, and these tests they help in the treatment of the diseases. Okay, so let's see some differences between acute disease and the chronic diseases. So acute disease and chronic diseases, they have some similarities and some differences. The disease that occurs suddenly and stay for a short duration is the acute disease. The disease that occur and stay for longer duration, even for a years or so, is the chronic disease. The patient regain health after a brief treatment, for example, cough, cold, okay, in case of acute disease. And in case of chronic disease, the patient regain health after a prolonged treatment, for example, tuberculosis, that is TB, of lungs, cancer, etc. It does not cause major effect on the general health of a person due to quick recovery. That means a person become well in the small span of time, so it do not cause major effect on the health. It cause major effect on the general health of the person due to its long lasting in case of chronic diseases. Okay, so you can see in the figure that it frequently involves the multiple system in case of the chronic diseases, and in acute disease usually isolated, okay, uh, to one body area. That means the single body part might be affected. Okay, it is the uncertain future is there in case of chronic illness, and in case of acute illness the body respond to the treatment, okay, require more care and resource for the normal lifestyle in case of chronic disease, and it require less care and resource because it is temporary in case of the acute disease. Okay, now dear students, let's discuss causes of the diseases. Why disease they attack the human beings. Loose motion is a very common disease observed in people. It mostly affects small children. Let us study the possible causes of it and answer the question that are related. Okay, so common cold, loose motions. Okay, so if we do the case study, we'll find that the cause is generally because of either eating the contaminated food or drinking contaminated water, okay, or it is because of the food poisoning. Okay, it can be because of polluted environment. Okay, the environment is polluted, so that also cause the diseases. Okay, so the reason other reason could be unhealthy food. Okay, some food items they are allergic to the person, that also cause the dirty surrounding, okay, presence of the vectors in the surrounding, okay, due to bad habits, okay. For example, if a child keep on eating and there is no exercise, okay, and then consumption of the absence of the balanced diet. If a person consume the unbalanced diet, the person do not take proper diet, then also the person suffer from the disease, okay. So we can classify the causes of the disease into two types, okay. Now, dear children, let's discuss about the factors, okay, that are responsible for causing the diseases. So there are two factors which are responsible for causing the diseases. One is extrinsic and another is intrinsic factor. So extrinsic factor are those factors, okay, or those substances or agents that interfere with the proper functioning of our body and lead to disease, okay. For example, we have nutrition, infection, okay. These are the extrinsic factors that comes from outside, okay. Now, emergencies, okay, that can arise in the extrinsic factors are the element caused by accident or all of the sudden due to external cause are also extrinsic factor that may lead to disease. For example, fracture of the bone, okay, frostbite due to the excessive chilling cold and body exposure, heat stroke due to excessive hot weather, okay. All such emergencies, that is external factor, cause both bad health and they can be easily prevented when one is cautious of it, okay. Now next we have is the intrinsic factors. Those factors that are within the body and interfere with the proper or normal functioning of the body are called intrinsic or internal factors. Symptoms indicate direct towards a particular disease. Sometimes some indications are given like cough, headache, pain, restlessness, swelling, pus formation, etc. The disease caused due to interference of internal body factors are called as organic or metabolic diseases. For example, malfunctioning of the organs, immune system, okay, etc. So this is about the factors that are responsible for causing the diseases in human being.